as well as a very good brand announcing doing Fast and Furious.
Ông Minh á.
You work with the guys, you meet Mark Hamill and all that crap.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome on board the Universal Studio Tour. My name is Robert. I'm going to be your guide for today as we lift the veil of secrecy on some of Hollywood's hottest filming locations. Now, as you board the tram, please move as far to the right-hand side as possible to allow the maximum number of guests on board. And if you have any young children with you, say if they sit in the tram chairs and their feet don't quite touch the ground, go ahead and move them towards the center of the rows and away from...
A little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anywhere. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories, like The Lot, when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
The tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking a camera snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
And as we head down to the studio, I'm sure you've been following along either side of the road with our movie timeline, celebrating over 100 years of filmmaking here at Quantum. As I mentioned, today it's being used for the TV show Ted as New York City. It's also being used in plenty of feature films, including Bruce Almighty, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, The Fate of the Furious, Captain America, The First Avenger. It was also used as New York City in Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man trilogy, starring Tobey Maguire as Kirsten Dunst.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here at the Universal Lot.
And while these streets are most frequently used as New York City, they can be transformed into any major city as well as any time period in the entire world. We have no permanent street lamps on the sidewalk, so we can replace those as needed. And also, the majority of the stonework and brickwork that is on the sides of the buildings is foam, rubber, and fiberglass. So we can easily peel off one layer and replace it with a brand new one to transform the buildings, as well as swap over all of the handles. Picture cards are another great way that filming is going to indicate a specific time period or location. Now, for instance, on display today, we have picture cards dating all the way back from the prehistoric age, like the ones used in the Flintstones movie, stretching all the way into the future with modern vehicles like...
I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from...
You might also be familiar with the Bates Motel from the TV show Bates Motel, starring Freddie Highmore and Vera Farmiga. And we're now entering one of our most elaborate set pieces on the lot. This is the plane crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, and here to tell us more about it is the production designer for the film, Rick Carter.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around Steven.
To sit down and talk about War of the World. I thought, what if your 747 goes down right in the neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Close your eyes, okay? Now close. Let me get in. Get in.
And this is indeed a real retired aircraft that was broken into several pieces for the film and shipped here to Universal. And the final sets we're going to be seeing are Jupiter's Claim from Jordan Peele's Nope, starring Kiki Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, and Stephen Yen. It's incredibly rare that we get to explore set pieces that are featured in a movie that are still in theaters. These are the real ones that we used in the movie. They were constructed in Santa Clarita, used for filming, and then delivered here to Universal. And here to tell us a bit more about them is the dark
Owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Well, it's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of the gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle?
It certainly seems there's some mysterious goings on in Jupiter's Claim. For more information, check out Note, Skill, and Theaters. And usually we turn the corner there and head back to the theme park, but it looks like we're making a slight detour in Sullivan's truck repair. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, but just to be on the safe side. you managed to escape the danger of an earthquake, I'm afraid we're not quite out of the woods just yet. You see, we are now arriving in Amity Island, a rather beautiful seaside town, but it has been plagued by shark sightings recently, so now more than ever it is vital that you remain seated and keep a tight hold of your belongings. We don't want anything or anybody ending up in the water this afternoon, particularly as it seems we have a shark fin moving around in the water right now. That is some bad news for that diver who's next to the Amity police boat there. I sure hope they know they've got company in the water with them this afternoon. Well, if they didn't know before, they certainly know now. That's a shame, but not to worry. We can stay safe and sound up here on the tram. We're going to move a little bit further down this road and take cover behind this large wooden pier covered in red barrels that say, flammable gasoline. But not to worry, we also have shark bait in the water tied off to that yellow barrel. I'm sure the shark will just grab the shark bait and leave us alone, and it's taken half the pier with it. Did that gas pump come loose? You might want to take cover. Well, I think we're going to need a bigger tram. My old Australian friend, the great white shark. Now that, of course, was a recreation of the mechanical shark that was utilized on the set of Steven Spielberg's 1975 thriller, Jaws. Now, on the set of Jaws, Steven Spielberg named the mechanical shark Bruce after his lawyer at the time of filming. And you might know another great white shark named Bruce if you're a fan of Disney's Finding Nemo, the Disney creative specific